What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a Yama guide, which is going to be a Yama solo guide, magic only, as we get into this video. So let's break this down, what you're going to need. So you're going to need to bring your best magic offensive gear. So this is my best magic offensive gear, alongside with the Purging Staff, because the Purging Staff is actually really good for Yama. Doesn't have much usages, but it's really good for Yama. So bring that if you've got one, because it's going to be so vital for the fight. And you're going to need to bring a melee switch. So I've got the Noxious Halberd, Amulet of Rancor, and the Ferocious Gloves. You could bring Sharks or better for food. Bring Restore Potions, bring a Super Anti-Poison Potion or any other potion that cures poison. And then summon your Thralls and Mark of Darkness straight away. And then challenge Yama and you'll be ready to start the fight. So you'll see these two glyphs on either side. They'll either be blue or red. So for me, it's blue, so I'm continuing to protect from Mage. So if the glyphs are red starting the fight, you're just going to need to do the opposite of what I've done. So you're just going to need to make sure you protect from range first, and then once it's done its special attack, you then protect from Mage. You will get these fires as well that will kind of go across the room, so make sure you don't fall into that, otherwise you do take damage as well. You can see Yama's just done a magic attack, special attack, and we know it's in its magic cycle. So we'll just move closer to the range glyph, the next one in cycle. Doesn't matter if you go, clockwise or counterclockwise, at least from experience anyway. So you shouldn't have any problem whatsoever with, at least with phase 1. It's like the easiest part of the fight. So now you'll see there's a wave coming at us. Now, in order to get across here safely, just run 2 tiles across. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll get the hang of it. And then you'll get these void flares that will spawn. Make sure you do kill those off before that timer, that goes up with the yellow bar. Otherwise it heals Yama and we don't want that. So just make sure you're doing that right. The best way to kill off the void flares as well is by doing one attack with the Purging Staff and then click on the special attack orb, and then you'll be able to get a second hit in at a 2-tick speed. So you get that second hit in a lot quicker as you would do normally. So it's just very important. You can see another wave in here, as you can see. Just run across 2 tiles. It's more of a timing thing. You'll get the hang of it as you do more KC. So it's just more of like a practice makes perfect, shall I say. You can mark these 2 tiles I've got, which is opposite of Yama, which is a red tile and a blue tile. But that's for phase 3 of the fight, so we won't talk about that. So Yama will now send you into Oblivion, I think at 66% and 33%. And now we've got the Judge of Yama encounter. So this is kind of like a side mission, like a bit like a demi-boss. So it will do a prayer from range and melee, and magic and range. So you're just going to need to do mage to melee switch each hit. Pretty easy. It's not really rocket science with this one. And then you move on to the second phase of the fight. Make sure you do run away. Sometimes Yama can kind of spawn really close to you when you get out of that phase. So once that happens, just make sure to run, keep your distance away from Yama, because Yama will hit you. If it does say if it says Umbra, that means it's going to do a range attack. So make sure you stand on the right glyph, and it will say something about Infernus if it's a mage attack. Also another thing, this phase 2 is more punishing. You will get a massive mage like rock falling down on you, and it actually turns your run energy off. So just make sure you're standing very close to your glyph, otherwise you'll be taking a lot of damage. I think it's actually just a 1-hit KO, at least for most part, when I've actually took damage from it. So make sure you deal with these waves again. As I said, just takes a lot of practice, but you should be able to get the hang of it very quickly here, and then just move on to the next glyph as soon as possible. The mage one is like the most punishing, I'd say, in this phase, but you don't want to be taking any damage from any of the magic or range attacks in phase 2, because phase 2 is a lot more punishing. It's pretty much the same as phase 1, but just a lot more, stronger attacks from Yama. So we just try not to make much mistakes. Also, Mark of Darkness is on a 5-minute timer. So when you use it, you have to make sure it's, still active as well. Now we've got 2 waves coming in. So make sure you do dodge those. I didn't dodge it that time, and I took damage from its mage attack. So here we got the void flares once again. So, just showing you example, get the second hit in with the special attack. You get these fires that come at the side of the room. So do make sure to move out of the way for that. Get the timing right and you should be good to go. So now Yama is pretty much nearly on the third and final phase. So it's now on 33%, and I think it's now nearly, yeah, it's on the right time now. So once it gets up below 33%, you'll get sent to Oblivion for the second time, jump these stones, dodge these fire blasts, and move on with the fight. Continue with the cycle, switch to melee, switch to mage. Make sure you do also, by the way, use Piety for this encounter for Judge of Yama, because it's much more beneficial if you're using that over, I'd say, Augury. At least for my setup, it seemed I was hitting much more consistent. So it just depends on setups, I think. But for me, I liked using Piety, and then I flick back to Augury. And now we've got the final part of the fight, which is the most, obviously, as you could tell, most dangerous part of the fight. Use these 2 tiles. You'll get these fireball things coming at you. Move sidestep, move 1 tile diagonal and 1 tile north. Yeah, if you see a lot of this, it's just more trial and error. You'll get better as time goes. So as you can see, just follow what I'm doing and keep on that red tile. Don't move from that tile. And then when these waves come in, run through it by clicking the blue tile. So you shouldn't take any damage by running through. If you timed it slightly off, then you will take damage. But if you get it right, then you've done it right and you won't need to worry about it. So attack these void flares. These will spawn, but they've only got half health. So just make sure the bar doesn't go up to the full with the yellow bar. Otherwise, it will heal Yama, and we don't want that. So continue with the cycle with these fireballs, things, and then just move to the red tile. You can see these waves are coming in. Yama will also change attack style very frequently, by the way, which I didn't mention. So make sure in phase 3, you do pay attention to, obviously, the fire. You've got to pay attention to the waves as well. And then you've got to pay attention to what style Yama is attacking you with. So it's basically like a Jad phase. So it's always going to hit you each time with magic and range. So you just got to be very careful. As I said, it does take time. It does take time to learn this cycle with Yama's attacks. So don't feel too bad if you do take damage, because I certainly did learning in phase 3. Phase 3 is very difficult, I'd say, actually. Obviously, very easy to learn. And hopefully, good luck on anyone for their first kill for Yama. Obviously, feel free to say anything in the comments if if you're struggling or anything. I'll be happy to answer any questions as well. But with the cycle with the fireballs, it's very hard to explain, but you just got to make sure to follow which direction the fireballs are coming at you like. So they could come at you like horizontally, they could come at you diagonally, and they can come at you vertically. So just make sure you're on the right tile at the right time for that. You're going to be dealing with these void flares, but the void flares are actually quite easy on phase 3. They're a 1 hit, so I won't really worry too much about that. But yeah, for the fireballs, you're just going to need to do one tile to the right, 1 tile to the diagonal. I like to go to the west side, and then 1 tile north. So, but that's just facing Yama, so obviously it's going to be a bit different. But 7 minute and 51 second kill isn't too bad at all. If you get a consistent sub 8 minutes, it's pretty good. I don't have an imbued heart, by the way, so I'm kind of lacking on that DPS. But just showing you another example fight, but this is going to be a bit speeded up. So obviously you're going to see the different glyphs, so make sure you are on the right one is the most important thing, at least to start off the fight. Run through this wave. You'll see it does a magic special attack. Pray Mage, and it's obviously going to continue doing Mage as well. And then obviously for this part of the fight, sent to the Oblivion once again, and move across, dodging with all these fire missiles that are coming at you as well. And then just continue the fight. So the Judge of Yama is also really good because you can actually hit it from a distance whilst you're jumping the stones with a Purging Staff or Tumakan Shadow. So you'd be able to get some damage like straight away before going up close and personal to the Judge of Yama with melee. So you can get some extra damage in quite quickly that way, which is pretty nice, which I thought was a pretty good idea. Obviously showing you the phase 2 of the fight once again. So you see it's going to be the same as phase 1. So if you start off with Mage glyph first or range glyph, it's going to be the same in phase 2. At least from when I've done Yama, it's always been the same. So that shouldn't change for you at all. And then just another pointer I thought I'd say is just make sure you stay close to the Mage glyph as possible, because this slows you down quite rapidly. And just making sure you kind of like at least I'd say 2 or 3 tiles away from the mage glyph. Otherwise you might have a possibility to take damage from the magic attack. We don't want that, so yeah. But I must say the void flares are so easy with the purging staff. You shouldn't have any problem whatsoever with that. And just making sure you're high HP, high prayer, staying away from all the, you know, avoidable damage, like, you know, the magic on the side of the room, you know, with the fire, the glyphs, you know, making sure you're on the protect prayer is correct, running through these waves without taking damage, which is more of a timing thing. You will kind of adjust to it after a few kills, so you should have no problem whatsoever doing this at all. You know what, like on my attempts I died like several times, like most of it on phase 3. I think I died like on phase 1 or 2 like once or twice, but once you get to phase 3, that's just where your mistakes are just gonna, you know, be crystal clear. So I don't feel too bad if you die on phase 3, because I think that's just the whole part of it, is to learn the process. I'm just happy that I killed this boss on day 1 as well, because, you know, not everyone could kill a boss like straight away on its release. So I was expecting like Yama to be a little bit harder though, if I'm being honest with you, just because of like it's saying end game boss, but really you don't have to be end game to kill the boss, especially for a duo, because doing this as a duo is actually quite a lot more easier. I'm just showcasing what it's like as a solo, but this can still apply as a duo as well. You'll just do exactly the same method as I'm doing, but you'll just have a lot quicker kills because you have a, you know, a teammate with you. And then when you get to the last phase, if you're on duo, you could actually just like both of you stay on the same tile and just follow the same sequence as you would be doing. So pretty much just like cloning, just by copying each other what you're doing. And also another thing as well, if like one of your teammates is on the other side of the room and you can stay on one side and your teammate can tank some of your glyphs as well, which is pretty cool, because, you know, if one teammate is closer to the other glyph than the other, then it just might make it a little bit more easier as well. But you can see on this one, just following the sequence, you know, you can see the I am taking some damage in this example. I have got kills where it's just been so clean throughout, but I think it's just inevitable at this point, especially how early the boss, you know, has been released. How early we're actually now doing the boss is we're gonna make mistakes here and there, so I won't worry too much about it. I think at the moment it's just to improve on it. I did struggle at first on these like waves that come at you, but with the timing, honestly, it's just a timing, you know, thing. Like all you need to do is just make sure you time it right. Anyway, I thought I'd leave it here for this solo guide. Obviously it also applies for duo as well. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Feel free, if you want to support the obviously support the channel as well, leave a like on the video. It really does mean a lot. I can, you know, help make more guides. If it's helped me, then I'm sure it helped some of you as well, and you take some value from this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye everyone.